to Brunch, a taste of Tobago. I am so happy that you guys are joining us today. It is a wonderful Monday, a beautiful Monday on the island of Tobago. And we are so happy to be with you guys again. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, I am your host, JW Moore, also known as J Soul, and I will be taking you through 2 hours of really wonderful stories, wonderful segments, wonderful entertainment, because that's what we are all about here on Brunch, a Taste of Tobago. I am just a small part of the team, like I always say, that makes it happen right here on Tobago Updates Television. Now, there are so many things that we love to highlight. We love to give honor, and we love to, put our sons and daughters on the world stage. We want the world to be able to see us shine and to see us evolve and to see us become successful. And we just want to be a part of that small part that makes that even remotely possible. And for those of you who probably woke up just a little heavy today, just a little below the weather today, we're hoping that we can change that. We're hoping that you are somewhat lighter from having viewed the program, and we really want to extend blessings and greetings to each and every one. Remember, we are live on the Amplia Network 102. We are also on Facebook and YouTube. So even if you are running out, because I know some of you are running errands today and you're a bit busy today, you can go back, and have a look at us, have a look at our wonderful programming. Just a pleasant, blessed morning to Miss Candice Jackson, who joined you previously for Good Morning Tobago. And we are just so privileged that you're taking the time to watch us. Basically, in case no one has told you today, you are special and you are wonderfully made. For those of you who are not aware, of course, we have our lovely segments, and this is our good stuff segment. We start with that. We start with good stuff, which empowers, educates, highlights sons and daughters of the soil who are doing wonderful and amazing things in the workspace, on the world stage, who are impacting humanity positively. And we go first to the news day. Now, this is a wonderful story. Designer uses mass costumes to tell Trinidad and Tobago stories in the UK. Designer Desron Arts believes carnival costumes, especially kings and queens, should not just be beautiful, but have meaning beyond a band's theme. This belief and the resulting products took him to the UK to play mass, engage in discussion about T&T's culture, and generally represent the wonderful and beautiful Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. His belief is resulting of products that are very captivating to the eye, but also give you a bit of a history, a bit of culture, a bit of art, and of course the pride that generates whenever you have the Trinbagonian presence in the room. He goes on to say, I wanted everything I do as a masquerader to have deeper relevance outside of the competition space. So it had to have life after Carnival, and the story of the costumes I did had relevance and sparked interest in the UK. Yes, you heard it, guys. Designer Desron Arts, a son of Trinidad and Tobago, doing wonderful things in the creative space in the UK. So pleasant good morning to you, Desron, and a pleasant good morning to the UK. For those of you who are viewing us, you are viewing us locally, regionally, and of course internationally. We take you now to The Guardian. The Trinidad Guardian speaks of Lawford Dupre, a college boy behind social acceptance of Pan. Another stream of steel band creation and performance was joined by the so-called white boys or college boys bands and players who emerged as early as the 1940s. Dixieland, Dixie Stars, Silver Stars, and Tropitone were among the early bands. Ernest Ferreira, Curtis Pear, the Pouchet brothers, Junior and Edgar, and of course Lawford Dupree. The last named, all of 86 years, still beating Pan, is one telling his story, and that the Pan men, the bands, the era, and the contribution they made to the growth of the national instrument. They made growth to the national development of steel pan acceptance in not just Trinidad and Tobago, but throughout the Caribbean. We go to the Daily Express now. A childhood dream comes true for creator Ansel Harris. It's not every day an adult gets to live out a childhood dream. But that's just how it worked out for Ansel Harris. Harris was 5 years old with an oversized imagination when he created Vaser Claw, his first comic book between the ages of 8 and 13. He tweaked the drawings and the storyline of Vaser Claw, the Prince of Capernaum, who goes on a mission to uncover the truth about the death of his family. On his journey, he meets an earthling and encounters alien beings who constantly try to stop him. So, there you go, Ansel Harris. He is very renowned as a creator, as an animator. And this is just a snippet of what we can achieve as a people. We are definitely proud to highlight these stories. We're definitely proud to give you an experience that is one of positivity. So before I take the break, let me just go really quickly. So I just gave you our good stuff segment. Next, we have our Life Diary segment. Mbau Mohini joins us, and we are definitely going to delve in and have a wonderful conversation with him. For those of you who are familiar with Mr. Mohini, he's an educator first, he was a member of parliament, he was a senator, a revolutionary, and of course an author. And we're just going to touch on just some of the things that he was involved in. Definitely want to stick around for that. We also have Miss Esther Ali. This is for Eye on Bago segment, and she is going to be talking about the New Wave Math Championship. So you guys want to stay for that. Agro Corner, of course, is up next. Our guest Keishel Percy joins us. She's going to be speaking about the World Food Day and the Farmers Market, and we definitely want to really touch on that. We also want to touch on hunting season, guys. Now, this has been a topic of discussion for a while, and we really want to touch on the do's and the don'ts specifically, and we're going to have a wonderful conversation. So keep viewing for our Agro Corner. Of course, our grassroots segment, we cannot leave that out. Selwyn Bajan, or Bajan, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, is here learning the identity of stress and learning to manage it. So we definitely want to stay tuned for that. So we're going to take a break, and we're going to be right back with our Life Diaries with Mr. Mbau Mohini. You guys do not miss it. We'll be right back.
Tobago Glass Supply Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supply specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Right now, Tobagonians are just currying down to Bonaccord, right in Stobin Local Road. You know why? To come down and shop at Authentic Builders General Hardware, the only hardware store in Tobago that is giving you guys Trinidad prices. So for instance, such as steel, half-inch and 5/8, $7,895. 5/8 construction ply for $260. Every single thing that you will need to do your home renovation or start your new construction, we have it right here. And to get your quotation, it's very easy. Just WhatsApp us at 272-1990 and we will do your free WhatsApp quotation for you.
From the experts that created the Zinger sandwich comes the KFC Crispy Barbecue Zinger. Cheddar cheese, crispy onions, the most delicious Kentucky Fried Chicken, and barbecue sauce. Get ready for a whole new level of flavor.
A taste of Tobago. Now guys, I would have mentioned just a snippet of who is here on the brunch set with me today. And for our live diary segment, I am very honored, I'm very pleased. One of my mentors, I have to say, in culture and art, also an educator, accomplished author, a revolutionary. Yes, he's that and more. And also a member of parliament. He was also elected a senator. So it's a vast, if I had to say all the things and speak on all the accomplishments, I would be here all day. So I'm just going to stop while I'm ahead and I'm going to introduce to you Mr. Mbau Mohini. And he is here and he's going to be speaking with me on the brunch set. So good morning to you.
Good morning, Janelle, and it's a pleasure to be here. Good morning to the viewers, the public. And I could very well be interviewing you because in your first entry into the National Calypso Queens, you were a finalist, you were in Skinner Park, and you are one of the privileged top 40 Calypsos of the year. So it could be both ways.
So we could turn the tables.
Yes. So congratulations on your achievement there,
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for being a part of brunch today. Now, we tend to delve in to what others may not know. They may know some of the titles
Right.
that go along with your legacy, but they don't know of you, the man behind all of that. So we tend to delve in just a bit. So if we could go back, I won't go very far. I will just start with your life as an educator and then we take it from there. Yeah?
Okay. Well, actually, I began teaching in 1972. And it was during that same period I was also involved in the movement because I was involved in the 1970 revolution. And so teaching and, well, some people would call it politics, whatever, however you put it. But both were synonymous with each other because it's all a question of people. It's a question of development of people. Youth's critically important because, and most people hear them say the youths are the leaders of tomorrow.
Yes.
But NJAC always thinks about the present as well. So we say that the youths are the leaders of tomorrow today, meaning not only are we preparing them for future leadership, but even now, they must have a say in determining their own lives. So we're not going to shut down their voice. They are entitled to participation because we believe in people's participation, whether it is the women, the men, the adults, the elders, whoever. As a matter of fact, it is through NJAC in 1970 that I first got this concept of women involvement in politics. Before 1970 in this country, that was almost taboo. And we opened the doors for women participation to the extent that, I'm jumping a bit, but in the 1991 elections, we challenged all of the political parties to have at least 33% women participation and 25% youth participation. Now it could be a female youth, but when you count the youths, there should be 25%. That was the challenge we put out, and bit by bit, the other parties had to respond. So that is one area. We go from the teaching and the importance of the student and the youth. And I love teaching. It was really a fantastic experience because I love people. I love youth. I like to see progress, development, and sometimes it just puts me in trouble because I've been teaching for years, but about 4 years ago, there was someone who knew me from Bethel, and she said, okay, my daughter is having some problems, And I took up the challenge, and I never regretted it because it was a young lady who was focused. And she was the only student to pass additional maths in her school that year.
Wow.
Yes,
And so it just kind of spearheaded from there because I think naturally you have this yearning to assist. You like helping, always giving back to the community, and that's a natural instinct. That's a natural part of you. Because I remember there were a few times when we would have seen your school, Elizabeth's College. I remember I was having a conversation about Elizabeth's College this morning, and I'm not going to call any names. The person did not know of the school. They never heard of Elizabeth's College or Moravian School as we knew it, with that blue skirt and that blue tie. Yeah, I would always remember being very, very, it was so that I admired the level at which, the students carried themselves. So that is one of my fondest memories of Elizabeth's College. And it could only come with the teaching that they receive, the education that they receive, and also the empowerment. And that's what you're all about. Yeah? So go ahead.
No. I was just beginning to think whether we shouldn't document some of the history of Elizabeth College so that people could know. We put when was up. I taught when he was in school. And he was a finalist in the 400 meters in the Beijing Olympics in 2008, showing Winchester, Gold March Monarch, that would be 94, 95. So we have made our contribution.
Yes, definitely.
And it's a history that needs to be told.
I think so. I think it should be documented because you have a lot of your stalwarts who would have graduated from that
Yes,
school.
yes.
Yeah, and made such
Morgan
an
Joe,
impact.
Pamela
Yeah, such an
Nicholson,
impact.
the list goes on.
Yeah.
Horace Brooms, the name just,
Yeah,
the list
because
goes
my
on.
mom even went to Elizabeth's College.
Okay.
And, some of the stories, I wished that I could have been around because the stories are so, exciting, being involved in education. And I think most of the students, they saw themselves as a part of change.
Right.
Yeah, and
You see,
so
but
they...
we were guided by my father's words, because we were doing a little booklet, and I asked him, I said, what was the driving force behind it? What was the thought? And he said to push the students to pursue the very outer limits of their potential, whether it is academically, whether it is sports, culture, whatever.
Yeah.
And that just stuck in my brain, to push them to pursue their outer limits. Don't be satisfied with mediocrity.
Yeah. Did you always love writing because you're so good at it? Did you always want to write? How did this come about? Putting your research on paper, putting your ideas
the thing
on
about
paper.
it is that I taught mathematics and economics. So my first love was really mathematics. But then moving into other areas, politics, governance, what have you, and then you want people to learn, you want people to understand, you want to clarify certain things, you want your philosophies. Well, I love writing as well, but it started out with mathematics, wasn't it?
Yes, you're so good at it, and I think your experiences are so vast that it channels so much of your creativity. One of my memories that I have is my father, God rest his soul. He was a very avid reader. He was a very avid researcher, and so he was always writing. So I know. The creativity that comes about, the mental power that it takes to do something like that. And writing became such a part of him that he started writing for me. And he said to me one day, come, I have a calypso. Come and sing this calypso. And that's where it pretty much started.
Okay.
Yeah, and it started with,
no, but
with
that's
your
all
competitions.
All it needs, a little spark.
Yeah,
to bring that talent out,
Yeah, and one of the things that actually I never forget, it's like forever etched in my memory. That would have been at the time, the National Joint Action Committee. You mentioned NJAC.
Yes.
And this came about out of revolution as well. And it was just revolution in all forms. It was culture, it was sports, it was art, and it's such a big part of the history here in Trinidad and Tobago.
We were focusing on people, right? And because we focus too much on leadership, right? And that is a huge error that is made, as well as it is wrong. Okay, it's all about people. It's a people. And what we focused on was enlightening the population. Okay, so that our demonstration was not just we shall overcome, power to the people. No, yes, there were the shouts of power, but it was about enlightening. So you have a demonstration going from here to Pigeon Point, or from here to Charlottesville, and along the way you have microphones, because these were huge demonstrations. You're talking about, it's about 12 to 15,000 persons marched from Scarborough to Charlottesville. So you can't cover the whole demonstration with one microphone. So you have one placed here, you have one placed in different sections and different speakers, dealing with all areas of life, politics, economics, family life, child development, anything you think about, philosophy. So it was a school. Actually, the demonstration, we describe them as schools. And that went on for about 55 days all over the country, Trinidad and Tobago. So that within, and remember, this was only less than 2 months, 55 days on the streets. And within that time, the enlightenment was so profound that the masses, not the leadership, the people began to talk about the
Yeah.
new consciousness. We transformed the consciousness of the population. And that is why NJAC was able to transform this economy, not only the economy, the Caribbean, as a matter of fact, within 55 days. And when I say 55, I don't mean everything was done within the 55, but that consciousness led to the Hugh Wooding Commission being set up 71, 1 year afterwards, that we could move from a monarchy under the Queen to a Republican constitution, which
Yes.
came over a period between 71 and 76 when we became a republic. That is one of the contributions of NJAC,
Yes.
right? I know that person like yourself would have written CXC, right? Because we were looking at the education system. Why do we have to wait on the University of Cambridge or London to get our examinations here for our young persons?
Right.
So we advocated for a Caribbean examination, and that is how CXC came into being in 1972. If you go back and you look at the history, you would see that Trinidad and Tobago began to transform from a colonial society into a truly independent nation in 1970.
Yeah. And you know, you are so involved. So it's not just, like you said, it's not just the politics of it all. It's not just speaking to the leaders or the policymakers. It's about the people. It's about the voice of the people.
Definitely.
Yeah, and having a say and transforming that narrative that brought us forward. So we moved out of one state of governance, of consciousness, and we evolved into something so much bigger.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. You see, in 1970, Macandal Dagger was then Geddes Granger, and NJAC provided the leadership, right?
Right.
But we brought the population into the process. So the revolution was really conducted not by NJAC, but by the people. There was something they called the grapevine, okay? And they set up the grapevine, not NJAC, where, whether it's Charlottesville, whether it is Point 14, wherever, they began to research, right, what was happening all over the country. And then they would bring that information to the NJAC leadership.
All right.
So when our leaders go on the platform, they were fully informed about the whole nation.
And you heard it right here. We're going to be right back with more of this very, very scintillating conversation with Mr. Embo Mohini. We're going to take a break, and we're going to be right back with Brunch.
Okay, let me see.
So your car break down
Oh, no, not again.
and you're worried paying a wrecker could mean a pocket breakdown too. But when you're insured with Tatil, no stress.
Yes!
A Tatil motor policy has lots of benefits that protect your pocket. Like free roadside assistance. That's free 24/7 every time, as many times as you need. Tatil, where people are people. A member of the Ansa McAl Group.
Jimmy's Holiday Resorts has 1, 2, and 3 bedroom, fully self-contained apartments located at the heart of Crown Point. Minutes walk to the popular beaches, restaurants, bars, and the airport. Enjoy our amazing amenities such as fully equipped apartments, complete with Wi-Fi, AC, TV, and a pool, and a mini-mart on the compound. Call 639-8292 or 8929. Jimmy's Holiday Resorts is your family's home away from home.
Wait, I do even have suit and thing for this wedding. Why getting them thing?
Gonna put my right over there.
Alright, thanks.
The Port Mall, where the varieties are large from your favorite stores, from restaurants to salons and from clothing stores to jewelry stores, located at Sanctus Hill, Scarborough, Tobago. Telephone number is 868-334-6589.
Wow.
I didn't expect to see you here. Look good.
Thanks. It's all because of you and Porkmore. But here now, I'm going to have with you want to join me?
Yeah, that's okay.
All right.
Beat the rush and come on down to the Port Mall.
We are back with Brunch, A Taste of Tobago. Such an interesting conversation. My guest, Mr. Mbao Mohini, is here. And we were speaking on, before we went to the break, we were speaking on so many contributions that you would have made along with the people, along with your team, and just provide that level of consciousness that was really needed at that time. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. And you were even saying that, you wanted to really shed some light on governance, politics, and any possible differences that may occur there. So let's start there.
It is also to correct something of a dictatorship that exists in the world today. This is democracy, and everybody has to follow it. The point about it is that this so-called democratic system is not all there is, and is not all there should be. And this is why we believed that the people this should be the center. So that sometimes you talk about voting a government into power. We don't believe that should be done at all. A government should be voted into authority, not power. Power belongs to the people, to the population. So a government goes into office with that false conception that they have power. They should not have power. They are there. Why do we have elections? Because we want certain things. And we are putting them there because we believe they would do the things that we want. But when they get there, they believe they could do just anything they want and ignore, they don't want to hear what the population has to say.
Right,
you are talking nonsense. In 1970, when we gathered for our meetings, every single individual had equal say, regardless of you might be the biggest doctor or the smallest scavenger, whatever it may be, right? And as I said, the population worked and created institutions. There was one called Each One, Teach One. Well, I called it that, Each One, Teach One. But it meant that those who knew a little taught those who knew nothing. Those who knew a little more was teaching them. And those who knew more was teaching those who were teaching them. So there were different layers. So even though I may be teaching, there's someone else who knows more than me, and they're teaching me. And that all these are the things that brought this new consciousness. We bought thousands of books and sold them to the population. They were reading, they were learning. They were developing a sense of control of their country, that they have a right. So the principles were mobilization. In other words, prepare your population that they could develop their own communities.
Right.
Consultation. Government should not make any decision that would seriously impact the lives of the population without consulting with them, having them discuss, having them put forward their views, and finally participation. You must have the right to participate. So there it goes, and as I said, there's a difference between governance and politics. Politics is not for government. Politics is to determine who goes into positions, who's going to be the Attorney General, who's going to be Prime Minister. But after you have that government in place, it is not like, these people voted for me, so I will fix them up. No. Each citizen is entitled to equal treatment where the resources, where the opportunities, where housing is concerned, where education. Each citizen has an equal right regardless of who you voted for. Politics should end at the steps of the parliament. You don't take it into parliament. That is governance. Governance is to determine how the country is run. Politics is to determine who does that running, who has those responsibilities.
Yes.
It should never be mixed. right? Governance is there to run the country equally for each citizen, regardless of whether you voted for me or not. It's not about supporters, right? Politics is only to determine who has that responsibility, not to fix their friends, not to fix themselves, but to fix the nation, equal treatment for one and for all.
Yeah.
And that is the politics that we are interested in.
Yes, definitely. And, it has been buzzing around the political conversations where persons are saying, we just really want proper representation at the end of the day. We want to be confident that when we put you there, then you are basically doing what you promised to do or doing
Right.
what you said you would do before getting there. And I think that has been a conversation for centuries where you get there and that promise was not kept.
It happens over and over and over because it has become part of our political culture. So then people now begin to say politics is a dirty game, right? Not because a footballer is going to kick down another footballer. It means football is a dirty game. The game says kicking the ball, not the man. But there are dirty players, whether it is football, whether it is cricket, whether it is politics. There are dirty players. And we need to do more to clean up our acts. We need to do more to clean it up. So that someone makes a promise, right? You do everything possible to live by that. And if you know you don't intend to do it, don't make the promise. You don't just promise something, boy, I will get some votes. No, that is not the way it's done. That's not the way it ought to be done. We should be fighting to get into office. We should all be contesting and let the population who decides who really is the best. Politics has gone astray. We have gone right back to the 1920s when politics was determined by what? Money. Right? You could have the best idea, but if you have a few $1 million, as a matter of fact, 2016 taught us that the two major parties spend in excess of $500 million just to get into office. Right? And this is why we can't move forward. That amount of money could go to other things than just to get into office. So that is how I see it.
And before you even started speaking, I know you would have touched on certain things because that's the type of conversation that needs to happen. So I knew that you would have touched on certain things, and most of our viewers, we're just coming into our own. COVID came and really forced us to make some changes, and one of those changes coming out of the COVID pandemic, a lot of people were very anxious to get back into sports and get back into culture and art and music and all of that. And I was so pleased when I saw like a flyer. There was an ad that a friend of mine sent, and I saw that the National Women's Action Committee, that was the captioning at the top there, and I said, oh wow, we need to celebrate this. But how did that come into existence? What was the discussion or the narrative behind the Action Committee for Women?
Okay, basically, again, it's the same because we developed a philosophy of inclusion, not a philosophy of segregation, separation. It was inclusion. And the women are so critical to the development of any society. As a matter of fact, it was Kwame Nkrumah who stated that the consciousness of a woman, right, determines the quality and standards that are kept in the country, because the mothers are the first teachers, right, in the homes. And we therefore set about setting up, getting the women involved. They will, for the first time, they were heading some of the zones in 1970. Actually, the chief servant's wife. That's before they even met. She was heading the Tunapuna zone. So the youth had to be involved. We had a slogan for the elders, honor the old, because they paved the road that we are walking on today.
Definitely.
They were here before us. They saw things that we have not seen. So we gave that honor to them, and we saw the women as the custodians of our culture, right? They were the custodians of the culture that they're supposed to hand down from generation to generation, not something static, because culture is not, it changes, it is refined, it is developed. Sometimes it goes astray, but it is refined and developed over time. Your culture is really your whole way of life. And by living within a community, I am learning from you, you are learning from the person next to you, we are sharing, and thereby you develop a culture that will become somewhat peculiar to your community.
Yes.
So you have the Tobago culture, the Trinidad and Tobago, the Caribbean culture, etc. And our women play a critical role in that. I don't know if I have more time.
Yeah, we're just about to wrap.
No, because to me it is sad that we sit down and we talk about crime, but have we really sat down and studied what happened? I could remember when I was a youngster in school, I'll see these advertisements on the television and in the newspapers, having the woman looking so lovely, oh, the career woman, and have them decked off and looking so nice. So every woman wants to become a career woman. When I was a little boy, I knew it as a housewife and the breadwinner. And it worked, because the child comes home, oh, Colin, how was your day? She's getting love. Today, that woman is outside there in the jungle fighting. So when she, look, Colin, I can't take you on. Right? The children are going into homes and they are not getting the love they used to get. And then they are going out into a society that is very dysfunctional. What do we expect? There must be crime.
Yeah.
It's not going to be solved just by police. It has to be solved by changing the social order, right? And creating more loving, caring homes, first of all, and communities.
Definitely. And before we go, what would you like to say to the viewers? If you had to leave an inspiring word, what would you say to them today?
What I would love, what I'm very happy to see is that I know the potential of our people. We have fantastic. And I won't just say Trinidad and Tobago, but Trinidad and Tobago is a fantastic place. Tobago is wonderful. All we need to do is bring back community, as I knew it when I was a little boy in Kendall. The love you would get. Sometimes a woman, Sonny, what happened? You're looking hungry. Come, let me give you some food.
Yes.
They were sharing.
That human
right?
aspect.
Yes, there was that human aspect, as you put it. And first of all, that sense of community, we must bring it back, otherwise we're not going anywhere, first of all. And secondly, we must begin to aspire and know that we could build better communities, we could build a better nation, we have the potential, we have the ability. Our people have left here and gone all over the world and excelled. We have the ability right here in Tobago, in Trinidad, to build better communities and a better nation.
And there you have it, guys. We are going to take a break. I can't say anything else after that. And that's rare. So we're going to take a break. Before we go, our trivia question. This is a good one. What was the name of our national bird? Right. So let me rephrase that. What is another name for our national bird, the cockatoo? This is a good one. All right, so I'm hoping somebody gets this one right today. We're going to take a break and we're going to be right back with more Brunch, a taste of Tobago. We talk hunting season, guys, so you don't want to miss this. We'll be right back with more Brunch.
Tobago, after freeness is more speed and better TV. Get a free Samsung smartphone and free installation, plus 200 megabits per second, Paramount Plus, and more for only $299 with a select 200 plan from Flow. Visit online at discoverflow.co today.
Mount Pleasant Credit Union Back to School Loan Promotion. Loans up to $15,000. Requirements: job letter and a payslip no more than 1 month old. Utility bill, copy of book list, salary deduction, 10% down payment for self-employed persons, evidence of income and expenditure, bank statement, 12 to 18 months, other supporting documents. Promotion ends October 18. Contact us at 639-8375 or 8108 or check us out on www.mpcutobago.com or email us at loan@mpcutobago.com. Mount Pleasant Credit Union's Back to School Loan Promotion.
From the experts that created the Zinger sandwich comes the KFC Crispy Barbecue Zinger.
The only one I see is you.
Cheddar cheese, crispy onions, the most delicious Kentucky Fried Chicken, and barbecue sauce. Get ready for a whole new level of flavor.
Back with Brunch, a taste of Tobago. Thank you so much, guys, for staying with us. Thank you for being a part of what we're doing today. And before we went to the break, I told you guys about hunting season. This is our agri or our agro corner, as I like to call it. And I have a very special guest. I saw her walk in and I said, yes, we're going to have a conversation today. You know, and hunting season has started. As a matter of fact, it started yesterday. And there are some do's and don'ts. And there are some conversations we have to get out into the open. So we're hoping to delve in today. And we're hoping to just answer some of the questions that you might have. Disa London Allen joins us on the Brunch set, and we are going to delve in, like I said before, just a bit on hunting season, what that entails, and also what is the purpose of a game warden. What is the game warden supposed to do and not do in certain circumstances? So Disa, thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning.
You look so pretty.
Thank you.
Yes, so hunting season. Let's start there.
Mm-hmm.
So you were saying to me when we had the break that it started yesterday.
Yes, it started yesterday.
Right, and so now we have to have that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's go to the do's and the don'ts. Let's start there, because I know bush meat is a whole vibe.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I pause there because it's a whole vibe in Tobago. So let's speak on some of the do's and the don'ts. Let's start there first.
Well, as she mentioned, my name is Disa London Allen. I'm a game warden in the Department of Natural Resources and Forestry. Some of the do's, let's start there. The do's, make sure you have your hunting permit. The hunting permit, or state game license as we call it, can be purchased at the Inland Revenue Offices at Scarborough and Roxborough from the hours 8:30 to 2:30, right? The cost of the permit, per permit, is $100. Right? There are different categories that hunters can purchase. Whatever you decide to hunt is whatever category you come and you buy.
Right.
So there are different categories. There are the lizard, the agouti, the tattoo, the lap, anything like that. And
But
each
you-
hunter is only required 3 permits.
Right.
Per permit.
But you have to have that.
Yes, you have to have your
In
I
order
know
to have.
most hunters that we bounce up on, they say they never knew they had to get a state game license to hunt. They just thought as soon as the season open, they just go and hunt. But really and truly, to hunt on state lands, you require the state game license.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. And what are some of the problems that you encounter? Because I feel as if not everybody follows the law.
No, they don't.
So what are
There are
some of the
those that
problems
hunt.
that you...
Well, we have the hunters that really take into consideration conservation and preservation. So they don't hunt when the season is closed.
Right.
And there are those that hunt in and out of season. So that is one of the main problems we have with some of the hunters in Tobago, the hunting in and out of season.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and another thing that I felt, I was so happy that you were coming today, because there's another question that I had to ask you. There's some areas where the ecosystem is changing so rapidly.
Right.
And so you see cockroaches in your backyard,
Yes.
agoutis in your
Yeah.
backyard, you know, and it's so ticklish.
It is.
Because if so, you don't have the necessary documentation and the necessary licenses, etc. Are we allowed to set, let me say, like how we say, set a trap and catch this agouti that keep coming in my yard? It's kind of ticklish.
It's sort of ticklish.
Yeah.
I mean, during the open season, we do advise hunters, you know, we give them more or less a little leeway in terms of helping to eradicate some of the pests that they encounter in their gardens. But however, in the closed season, that is where the problem stands. You have to come into the office and make a report, and from there, we give you the necessary advice, or we come and visit and help as much as we probably could. With regards to the cockroach,
yeah,
you know, that is the national bird, so there's no hunting whatsoever of the cockroach.
Right, okay.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And we know that it's a major pest for crops here.
Yeah. Oh my
for farmers.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yes. And they are so, they're almost domesticated, because they are
yeah, some of them are really
running and playing in the yard and, you know,
Yes.
doing all these
Yeah,
things,
they are.
doing the most, as the
Yeah.
young people say.
So it's like they're taunting the
Yeah,
farmers.
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
it's just, it has been a buzz of discussion. So I said, let me just mention, because those two, cockroach
We do,
and agoutis.
Yeah, we have farmers who have come into the office, and that is one of the major complaints
Yeah.
with regards to the agouti and the cockroach. So we try to assist as best as we can with the
Okay.
resources that we have.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can only do so much.
Exactly.
In terms of, because you can't really, there's no sense of control. Even with some of the areas, these are where these animals roam freely. So
But you have to remember that it's their home too, eh?
Yeah.
So they're planting in their home, and when they see food, they will eat.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so it's like that, unfortunately.
And they eat so much.
Yes, they eat a lot.
So it's not just
Yeah.
that they're eating, but the quantity.
Yeah, they're miserable.
Yeah, so it's definitely a blow, and you're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
what's going on?
We had a couple consultations recently with regards to wildlife pest management with some of the farmers. The turnout wasn't 100%, but I mean, we would have given like little advice, and we would have gotten some great ideas, some hunters as well, as to how they would have dealt with the whole pest issues. So we try to reach out as much as we can and help as much as we can.
Right. And there were some questions in the space about being a game warden. First things first, people were interested in becoming game wardens. So just walk us through that process and what is expected of a game warden.
Of a game warden.
Yes.
Okay. Well, let me first say we have this program where we have honorary game wardens, right? Beside the normal game wardens, we have honorary game wardens. Those are the ones that volunteer their time, like their spare time, to assist us. They have the same, more or less, they can lock up people or whatever as a normal game warden. But they
Right.
are appointed by the ministry in Trinidad.
Okay.
Right? So we have a couple on board right now that's sort of functioning. A game warden, more or less, is a conservator and preserver of flora, fauna, the wildlife animals of Trinidad and Tobago, basically. So that is what we are, conservators.
So it's not really like, because I'm thinking it's not even like, you can't even say it's a 9 to 5 job.
No,
Is
it's
it?
not. No, no. It's
Oh
not
my
a 9 to
gosh.
5
So
job.
the
No, it's not.
hours are basically like so crazy.
Yes, we have to stagger the hours.
Yeah.
Basically, to get the job done.
Well, I mean, somebody's got to do it, right?
Yes.
And if you are going to be the best that you can be at it,
Yeah, you have to do what you have to do.
That's what I think.
Yeah. It is what it is.
It is what it is. So tell me about World Food Day. What are you doing for World Food Day?
Well, we're doing what we normally do, which is we have the wildlife farmers that come together,
right,
and they do their presentation of the animals, the wildlife animals, on that day. So you'll come to the usual walkthrough. It might be different this year because I think it's at the food hub, but it's the same experience.
Basically,
yeah.
Dr. Crooks was here some weeks ago, and he was, just walking us through, especially for the horticultural aspect of it, the sanitation and getting the place ready. And, it's exciting, but it seems like so much to do.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
To get this space ready.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of communication, a lot of collaboration.
So planning starts from
yeah,
way before.
Early in the year.
Yeah, it's
they start to meet early in the year to start to organize and plan and put things together.
Yeah. But I see, I'm speaking to you, and there's a love for what you do.
Yes, I love it.
I could feel the passion
as
you talk about your job. Yeah. And that's one of the things that we must always strive for. Love what you do.
Yeah, every day I get up and go to your job, we must smile.
Too many of us are walking around and
not that happy, but you're just doing it because.
Just doing it because, yeah. But love what you do. That's a really, really important aspect. So anything new and exciting? Well, World Food Day, we just spoke about that. Yeah. So that's basically what's on the calendar now for you guys.
This day, and we have the Blue Food Festival coming up as well.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so that's another thing they can look forward to.
And I'm looking forward to the entertainment. The entertainment is always boss.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah. So what do you want to say to the people watching? If you had to inspire someone today, what would you tell them?
Wake up every day thanking God for another day and just be blessed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Be blessed.
And be happy.
And it's so simple. There you heard it. Be blessed and be happy. Simple, simple.
Yeah.
Yeah? So we just want to thank you so much.
It was my pleasure.
For coming. And I know that you answered some of the questions that many people had. So I'm really happy that you took the time to come to us.
That's no problem.
Definitely. And I love your hair. Let me just come off. The World Food Day and things for a little while. Because when you walked in, that was the first thing I looked at. I was like, ooh, I love this. Yes.
Thank you.
So we're going to take a break, guys. We're going to be right back with more Brunch, a Taste of Tobago. Let us remember our trivia question for today. What is another name for the national bird, the cockrecot? This is so wonderful. I hope someone gets the answer. We're going to be right back with more Brunch, a Taste of Tobago. See you guys soon.
Because you're touch. Yeah. Because my girl. Bad girl from Roxborough to Tobago, body fuego in your day clothes, I rate you. Grew up around good vibes and incense. Grew up in hard times that intense. Shut it as you're reaching at the dance. Use the topic as you're reaching at the dance. My girl, go and drop it as you're reaching at the dance. Making use of your talents when you balance back on the duns. Yes, yes. I know. oh baby. You want a man who take you serious, not just beat and leave. You're fed up on the streets, yes, yes, I know. I know, I know, I know, baby. You want a man who take you serious.
Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Summerama, real steam for the summer at Standard. It's a dream for the summer. Dreamy, steamy, Standard. What you have? What you have? All the best deals, no drama. Standard be beat like a hammer. Go tell your friend, tell your papa, tell your mama. We got more, we got more. Standards have what you're searching for. Quality brand, discounts galore. New things for the summer, online in store. Summertime is here, so make the most out of it at Standard. Never beating on quality and price. It not.
So your car break down.
Oh, no, not again.
And you're worried paying a wrecker could mean a pocket breakdown too. But when you're insured with Tatil, no stress.
Yes!
A Tatil motor policy has lots of benefits that protect your pocket, like free roadside assistance. That's free 24/7 every time, as many times as you need. Tatil, where people are people. A member of the Ansa McCall Group.
Back with Brunch, a taste of Tobago. You guys caught me. I was just looking over my notes here. Yeah, you have to be on top of your game. Yeah. And we're still continuing with agriculture now. Our agro corner is so important. We actually have to have these conversations. And, you know, World Food Day is upon us. Blue Food Festival is upon us. And so we never get to really speak about all of the preparation that has to take place. Now, my next guest is going to answer some questions that you guys may have. I know that you have many, but she's going to try to answer as many as possible. All right. And she is Keishel Percy. And Keishel is going to talk about some of the events that are leading up to the actual creme de la creme, which is World Food Day. And she's also going to speak on Blue Food Festival as well. So you guys stay tuned, listen, you know, as we go through these wonderful, wonderful, wonderful segments. The chairman of the World Food Day Committee is with me on set. Keishel, good morning to you, and thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Good morning to
Good
you,
morning.
Janelle, and good morning to the viewers of Tobago.
Definitely. And I must say, let me just come off the topic a little bit. You look so wonderful.
Thank you very much.
You walked in and, you know, there was a buzz. There's this eloquence and this, elegance. And I thank you so much.
And thank you for your compliment.
You're most
Thank you.
welcome. Most
Yes.
welcome. So the farmers market. Let's start there.
Sure.
Quite a bit to talk about. So let's start there.
Right. So this year, let me just give you a little synopsis. This year, World Food Day would have changed its perspective, or the division, let's say, would have changed the perspective about how we, showcase World Food Day. Normally, we have a 2-day grand event, and which encompasses everything. It would have encompassed the horticultural section, the farmers market section, all the food fair and everything all in one.
Right. Yeah.
No, because the perspective would have changed. We this year are focusing more on education, training, farm development, and even farmer development and product development. Right? So, for the 2-day exhibition, we have kind of focused more on the education and training part and some experiential aspects to it. So we want to give the farmers market their own day. We have given the horticultural section their own day.
Right.
So we kind of now narrow it down and focus on them separately and really focus on training and educating the public about agriculture. You understand? So the farmers market, we would have 2 this year. We would have one at the east, which is carried for this Thursday coming, the 5th, and that would be at the Roxborough Sporting Facility at the car park. And then we would have one in the west, which would be at the Food Hub on the 10th. Right? What you can look forward to at the Farmers Green Market is a showcase of fresh produce, local foods and snacks, baked products, agro-processing products, local wines, and so forth. Things that we trying to encourage persons to develop themselves locally using our local products on the island. So in essence, that is what the farmers market is going to be like. It is going to start at 10 a.m. in the morning and it just run for the day until 6 p.m. in the evening.
But did you see a lot of interest from the public? What's the public space like?
Oh yeah, we have had quite a great interest from the public, I must say. So much that we can't choose everybody given the space that we have. It has always been like that. So by separating East and West, we are able to accommodate more persons. No one is left behind, which is part of our team.
Yes.
Water is life, water is food, leave no man behind.
I love it.
So we are trying not to leave anyone behind. So we have given East a day, we have given West a day, so that we can encompass everybody.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think it's so wonderful because you are trying to reach as many people as you can. And that's a wonderful, wonderful initiative to take.
Yes.
Because the reason I was asking about the public is because usually we have the 2 days.
Right.
And everything would have been encompassed in that period.
Correct.
And so there were persons who would not necessarily get the best out of the experience.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So it's so good that you guys
take it apart
apart because you broke it into nice little segments.
Yes.
Everybody has a chance. Everybody has a platform, and that is what we need at the end of the day.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. We're really trying to leave nobody behind.
Yeah, definitely.
The horticultural market is going to be on the 7th of November.
All right.
Right? And the reason why I think the public is aware of the pest that is plaguing Trinidad and Tobago and has been encroaching in Tobago in a wider way, the giant African snail.
Right. Yeah.
Right? So we, the division, has taken the responsibility of all thing plants, all seedlings, plants itself, would be done on that particular day. So we don't want to leave it out, but we have taken measures in that we would be treating the plants 48 hours before.
Right.
So, we would, of course, every stakeholder, we would call them into a meeting, sensitize them of the direction we are going, so that we are going to do it in a safe way. And we are going to set the standard because we are the division, right? We are called to set a standard.
Definitely.
So we are going to show them the correct and the safe way of handling these plants and try not to encourage the spread of this pest.
Yeah.
So the 7th of November, we are going to have the horticultural show. So the whole World Food Day activity has been spread out so that we don't jumble everything in one, so that we can meet people, right? We will have a segment called, because yes, we are focusing on education, we will have a segment called the seminar series. Most of the seminars is going to be in November. And the public can look on our division Facebook page. We will soon publish the dates. We will have some flyers and stuff where we'll soon publish the dates of these series, right? A part of the 2-day event this year that we would like to touch on is the business section. We want to launch a business center. This is where we are going to develop farmers, because Tobago has a culture of farming as a hobby, right? Where it can be a business, where it can be a sustainable business for a home to alleviate poverty from homes, right? World Food Day was originally started to alleviate hunger. You understand? So now we have, different technologies and stuff has come forward. Now, if we develop farmers and show them that your farming can be a business, it can be sustainable. You develop your farmer, you educate them as to, we want to invite stakeholders like BDU, Agricola, ADB, and these places which will now show the farmer the different, let them know about the different loans and grants that are out there that they can get access to.
Right.
Eventually, we want to show them how to develop your business plan, develop your business itself, so that we can put a farmer on that educated kind of level, more educated, and an empowered farmer, and by extension, the public.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think also you're pushing the narrative where agriculture should not just be deemed as a hobby. It should be deemed as, look at it as business.
Correct.
Look at it as something that is fortifying the economy in some way, shape, or form.
Correct.
And I think the narrative was not very positive at times when it came to agriculture.
Yes, it had a stigma attached to it.
Yeah, there's still a
poor
stigma.
man job or something. But if you get into it and you treat it as a business, you can see how sustainable financially it can get. It can send your children to school, send them to university as much as it can. It's just to change the mindset of, and we need to start, because we are expecting the schools to come out. So we are starting from educating the schools.
Definitely.
Letting kids know from primary school, secondary school, right up to tertiary, that this is a choice that you can make that is very sustainable, very lucrative, because everybody has to eat.
Definitely.
It is essential. It's one of our basic needs, agriculture. And if we now instill in them at this stage that, hey, if you choose this path, more than likely you can be very successful. It can, and it would build our economy.
Definitely,
Because long time you grow up, when you're growing up long time, you used to say, make sure and get a government job. The government cannot sustain everybody. If we teach persons to be self-sufficient and develop themselves in a way, and it will boost our economy here. It will generate the revenue right here in Tobago, and by extension Trinidad and Tobago, because we would have enough food, and we'll be food secure, so that we can start exporting food. But it has to deal with developing, and we want to start from the kids, the public, and change the mindset of people that, hey, this can be something lucrative. You can develop yourself and you can treat it as a business.
Definitely. And I'm seeing the trend where agriculture is is tied into everything. You
Yes.
see creatives very much a part of agriculture, using
Yes.
agricultural products in their
Right.
designs, and
Right.
you know,
Yes.
so it's tied in so much now that okay, yeah, the conversation definitely has to change now
Yeah.
because you're seeing it for
Yes.
more than just being a hobby.
And it's good that you said that. We have this year. You are going to see some demonstration pieces in that. You know, long time, as I said, the stigma attached to it. Everybody think you could just go on the ground and just plant a food. Agriculture has evolved,
Very much
right?
so. Yeah.
We are going to display aquaponics this year and teach. Well, actually sensitize the public to. So we have some stakeholders coming up and set up the aquaponics system, the hydroponic system,
Right.
aeroponic system. So these are things we are putting out there. So we really gear towards educating the public. So even if your space at home, you don't have no big set of land to plant, you can have a small aquaponic system in your back. You can have pot and troughs right there. You
Yeah.
understand? You could feed yourself, you could feed your auntie, your nene, your granny, you could feed your community.
And just
by
using the space that
just
you
by
have.
utilizing the space
Yeah.
that you have. So this is part of our education platform that we'll be using at the 2-day event to show that we can, you know, utilize whatever space that you have this year. So we really want to educate the public. We want to train them in certain way. And hopefully it's not just between the 2 days on only the month of October. We're going to spread it out, and we are going to try and always, you know, keep trying to meet the public and farmers. Kendall Farm School is the training arm of the division, you know, so they would also be running a series of courses and stuff throughout the year that is geared towards educating the farmer and the public by extension.
Right.
Just looking out at our division page at all the upcoming stuff is going to be published there.
Definitely. And you know,
Yes.
it's so wonderful. You spoke about hydroponics and aquaponics.
Yes.
But in just a snippet, I mean, I know we're going to hear about it during your wonderful seminar series
Yes.
and lectures. But in a nutshell, for those looking on, what exactly is
Hydroponics.
Yeah.
Sure. So hydroponics is cultivating plants soilless. So
Right.
it's using water and fertilizer in a soilless way. So we have basically, I'm just breaking it down like a PVC setting that you can use, and you have this space vertically, right? You may have some horizontal space, but more or less your space is vertical, right? So the plants is that they utilize water, right? They utilize a pump, and of course your fertilizers, because your plant needs food. You're not using the soil. Your soil have all the nutrients and stuff naturally. So in the absence of soil, you utilize your water and your fertilizers, which would be safe.
Right.
Depends on which one you choose. It would be safe, and you grow your plants. You understand? So that is what hydroponics means. Hydro, water.
Yeah.
So it's water instead of the soil. So it's a soilless way of planting.
That is amazing.
Oh yeah.
That is amazing. And when you said hydroponics, I remembered very briefly that my son had I think it was comprehension. It was a comprehension passage, and it was speaking to hydroponics, and you
Right.
know, it was even saying, well, the produce that you get from hydroponics, sometimes it's so much bigger
Yes.
than with the actual soil that we're
Yes.
accustomed to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because sometimes with the natural soil, you don't really input much fertilizers and stuff in it. But with your hydroponics, you gotta make sure that your feeding system and your feeding regime is up to par. So you know the plants are directly fed. You know, so they would I don't want to get too much into the science, because sometimes with the soil, although it may have the natural fertilizer and fertility and the manure in it, it may not be available to the plants because of leaching purposes.
Right.
But with the hydroponics, it is directly fed to the plant. So your plants may, you know, shoot up
They may be
more.
bigger.
Yeah, in a certain way.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you know, what about, because I'm thinking the whole marketing aspect. So my brain is just buzzing with so many questions that I want to ask. But in terms of agro processing,
Right.
Is the market growing? Have you seen many entrepreneurs moving towards agro processing?
Yes, we have, and it is good that you mention it because it's another aspect of the two-day presentation.
Right.
We have focused on 2 farmers this year, and it's something that we have added from this year, and hopefully it goes on to the rest of the years that in the future that we would choose to have this World Food Day celebration, in that we are going to always choose 2 farmers where we are going to do product development, right? They are already into the agro processing sector, right? So what we are trying to do either is by labeling, developing the label, we want to try to take them from where they are at, develop their product, and make it supermarket level, right? So that at the end of the day, we can have our own local products at the supermarket, competing with whatever international products are coming in. So yes, we have had an increase in the agro-processing sector. And I think people has always done agro-processing, it's just that they have not brought it out on the market. So sometimes the public is not aware that, well, this one, unless you're in the community and you say, Jack down the road doing some wine or Jimmy down the road doing some ice cream, you wouldn't really know unless, it's out there. So the World Food Day is a platform to have these agro-processors there and all these different stakeholders, so that, they can showcase and then the public is aware that, hey, this exists. We have this right here in Tobago. You would be surprised at the creativity and stuff of these people that are out there that utilizing our local produce and processing it in a way that, bring value to our system, to the agricultural sector.
Definitely. And agriculture is such an integral part of any economy, and like we were saying before, this stigma, we still need to get over that hurdle there, because it's still there.
Yes.
The conversation is not moving as rapidly as it should, I think. Yeah?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think a way in which we can try to alleviate that is education. And that is why our perspective would have changed this year, is to educate the public that, hey, it is essential. Agriculture is essential. You have to eat. We eat. Some people are fortunate to have more than 3 square meals a day. You understand where the food coming from? We want to cut back on the food import bill. It's a regional problem that we have. The high food import bill, right? So, the very name of our division is food security.
There you go.
You understand? So we are trying to, sustain Tobago in a way that we can feed ourselves. And if we educate the public and change the mindset from the children, and that stage come right up. Yes, we're targeting adults and stuff, but if we target the children and change their mindset about agriculture and introduce the different technologies that are there, it is going to change. It will boost our economy, and that stigma will be removed.
Yeah, but it like you said, it starts with education.
It does.
It has to start there.
It does.
It has to start there, because I would go back to, some of you may remember the story. I went to a career day with my son. He was attending Scarborough Methodist Primary at the time, and everybody was dentist, doctor, policeman, and stuff like that. And there was one little boy who came dressed as a farmer. He had his basket, he had his tall boots, he had his produce in the basket, and it took me back, because there was one student out of the whole second year class that came dressed as a farmer.
And I tend to wonder is because at home his parents probably farmers. I got into agriculture because my mother was a teacher, a retired principal of Signal Hill Primary School, but she was an avid farmer. My father was an avid farmer. I know about, you're running and feeding the pigs in the morning before you go to school.
Yeah,
we had pigs, we had sheep and goat, we had chicken, grew up opposite a farm that had horse and ducks and geese. So, I was exposed to it. And I'm sure he was exposed to it. So, if we expose, and the thing is, and the schools now have farming as part of their schedule and their program, their curriculum. So it's a way of I think we can do more as a division, and in terms of educating the public and the schools and the kids about agriculture. And I think this is a start. Just the change of our perspective. It is a start.
And the division of food security, natural resources, the environment, and sustainable development. I told you guys I would get it. I told you. It's such a long name, but I told you I would. It's quite a mouthful. You guys are doing so much. But what I do have to commend you on is your knack for innovation. And so breaking the World Food Day up into so many little segments, so that, these wonderful segments, and just basically creating that platform, creating that opportunity, those seminars, those lectures, seeking to educate and also liberate us, because we have to get out of the stigma that still exists.
Yes.
Everybody cannot be shirt and tie and office, and we need one another.
Correct.
Yeah. And so I love the fact that the face of agriculture is changing.
Yes.
So it's more,
Yes.
get into it. Come see me.
Correct.
Come and see what agriculture can do.
Correct.
And I love the direction that you guys are going.
Thank you very much.
We are not done with you yet. I'm coming back. I told you I love talking to you. We're going to come back. We're going to take a break, guys, and we're going to be right back with more Brunch, a Taste of Tobago. Stay tuned.
Rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
So your car break down
Oh, no, not again.
and you're worried paying a wrecker could mean a pocket breakdown too. But when you're insured with Tatil, no stress.
Yes!
A Tatil motor policy has lots of benefits that protect your pocket, like free roadside assistance that's free 24/7 every time, as many times as you need. Tatil, where people are people. A member of the Ansa McCall Group.
Jimmy's Holiday Resorts has 1, 2, and 3 bedroom, fully self-contained apartments located at the heart of Crown Point. Minutes walk to the popular beaches, restaurants, bars, and the airport. Enjoy our amazing amenities such as fully equipped apartments, complete with Wi-Fi, AC, TV, and a pool, and a mini-mart on the compound. Call 639-8292 or 8929. Jimmy's Holiday Resorts is your family's home away from home.
Wait, I don't even have suit and thing for this wedding. Why getting them thing?
Pull a port my right over there.
Alright, thanks.
The Port Mall, where the varieties are large from your favorite stores, from restaurants to salons and from clothing stores to jewelry stores, located at Sanctus Hill, Scarborough, Tobago. Telephone number is 868-334-6589.
Wow. I didn't expect to see you here. Look good.
Thanks. It's all because of you and Portmore. But here now I'm going to with you. You want to join me?
Yeah, that's okay.
Alright.
Beat the rush and come on down to the Port Mall.
Right now, Tobagonians are just currying down to Bonaccord.
Back with Brunch, a taste of Tobago. Now, guys, this is our agricultural corner. It is a staple of Monday mornings. This is what you get on Brunch, a taste of Tobago. And you know, I'm speaking with a lovely lady. Keishel Percy joins us. And you know, as chairman of the World Food Day Committee, there is so much that goes into planning and preparation and implementation of an event of this nature. So I know you guys are tired. I know that. Yeah. But what are some of the other aspects of the event that you could speak on today?
All right. I can speak about the experiential aspect.
Yes.
That's something to look forward to. This is where the public would be involved in certain things that we are focusing on. We have deboning of fish, you know, so it's something as empowering the public. Sometimes you might go and throw your little line and you'll catch your fish. You might want to create a nice little meal. You might want a boneless meal.
Right.
So, you know, the fisheries department is going to take the initiative of, you know, involving the public in showing them how to debone fish. Right, we have foreign making. You know, cassava is one of the important staples, as you said, within agriculture and Tobago. We have our cassava flour and stuff that, you know, under one of the products of our subsidiary arm of the division, which is TADCO.
Right.
You know, so we have foreign making for those who are interested in knowing the process and stuff. So we have that, we will have that on display. And we can't leave out the cocoa. We'll have dancing the cocoa. So it's something that, you know, we still have some fun while, you know, teaching and educating the public. You can dance the cocoa, come and see what it used to be like and stuff. And, you know, cocoa is very important to Trinidad and Tobago.
Definitely.
Because we have a particularly flavored cocoa that has met the international market, you know, and it's because of our ecology. We have the cocoa beans from Trinidad, Tobago, and some parts of South America that is utilized because of its flavor, right? So, you know, cocoa is important to us. So we would like to, you know, reintroduce that, you know, into our community and by extension, the island of Tobago, you know. So we have that. There is a wildlife to look forward to.
Right.
Right. The public can now see the species of wildlife that is here on the island, can interact with it, and other species that we may not be aware of, and probably safe handling and stuff. So we have the Wildlife Association who will be part of the World Food Day, and they will bring the wildlife that we have here as display. It is one of the anticipated and probably the most aspect that draws the crowd, and of course the kids.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to see the snakes and the alligator, the caimans and stuff. So yes, we have the wildlife. We have the livestock section, which is like a petting zoo, you know. So we have that to look forward to, you
Definitely.
know. Something that we are going to do in a big way this year is our department booth. So I had to say division now, because we would have a section that really showcases the services that are offered by the division.
Right.
We have farmers registration. right? The only produce that would be allowed to sell in the 2-day event is our district farmers. We are trying to, stimulate farmers that are not registered to register and be part of the association. It would help rejuvenate, or revitalize some of the associations that we have. We have 8 districts in Tobago farming district. So we have 8 associations. So those that are dormant, we have some that are active, some that are dormant. So when the public come, we are trying to, stimulate farmers to join.
Sensitize them.
Yes, and sensitize them. So we have that. We have the tractor pull section. So you can come and, know what all the things that you may need to register or to apply for land preparation. We have the fishery section and the Fishers Association. So we want those fishermen that may pass through, we want to encourage them to be a part of the Fishers Association, whichever community that they are in. So, the department, we have the environment section that would be there, right? We have plant quarantine section will be on display, and plant protection, which is very important because we will be, sensitizing the public about the giant African snail, the potato weevil. These are some things that have been encroaching on the economic value of our plants and our agricultural sector. So if we now sensitize and teach the public how to safely use the chemicals and how to treat with some of these pests and diseases, it would alleviate and control and in a way manage the economic value of our agricultural sector. So these are some of the things that you are going to look forward, we'll be looking forward to from the division for this World Food Day this year.
And you guys are doing a wonderful, wonderful job, and a blessed good morning to you. Thank you so much, Keishel, for being with us. Thank you for your time. Oh my gosh, quite a mouthful in that space of time. So we just want to take a break at this time. Let me just give you the trivia question once again before we do that. What is another name for the national bird, the cockrecot? Yes. What is another name? And I have a feeling someone will get this. So you guys go ahead and type. We'll be right back after this with more Brunch, a taste of Tobago. See you guys soon.
Right now, Tobagonians are just currying down to Bonaccord, right in Strawberry Local Road. You know why? To come down and shop at Authentic Builders General Hardware, the only hardware store in Tobago that is giving you guys Trinidad prices. So for instance, such as steel, 1/2 inch and 5/8, $7,895. 5/8 construction ply for $260. Every single thing that you will need to do your home renovation or start your new construction, we have it right here. And to get your quotation, it's very easy. Just WhatsApp us at 272-1990 and we will do your free WhatsApp quotation for you.
Tobago, get ready to venture into the unknown. Mighty Crush.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
And we are back with Brunch, a taste of Tobago. Thank you so much, guys, for staying with us. And this is our grassroots segment. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, I told you about the segments, the wonderful segments that we have on our show. And so we're on to grassroots. We speak to our sons and daughters of the soil who are doing really big things and impacting the world positively. And my next guest is no stranger, it's no secret. He is the senior life skills coach at Harvard Medical. And learning to identify stress, learning to manage it. These are some of the questions that I know many of you have. So without further ado, let us welcome Selwyn Bajan to the Brunch set. And we are going to be speaking candidly about stress management, learning to identify, learning to manage. So good morning to you and welcome to Brunch, a taste of Tobago. All right, so we're gonna delve right in. Did I pronounce your last name correctly? Is it Bajan? All right, so could you just turn your mic on for me? Yeah, just turn your mic on. Yeah. All right, so we are discussing stress management. We are discussing how to identify with stress. And it's quite a buzz, not just in the medical community now. It's like just a buzz in every space. Everything is stress related nowadays. Everything is about stress. And it's good that we're having this conversation because everyone experiences this in their life. So let's start with what is stress? What is stress?
Okay, so stress. Okay, so stress is an overload on the mind or the body, an overload. It could be an overload of joy. It could be an overload of pain. It could be an overload of tension or confusion. But once there's an overload, meaning it is accumulating in the system, we call that stress. Any overload that is accumulating in the system and the person is not in a state of balance or harmony, that's stress. But we need to add to that a lot of today's lifestyle illnesses are stress related. We might have a predisposition towards diabetes or high blood pressure because of DNA reasons and so on. But high blood pressure, insomnia is plaguing the world. The United States is spending billions of dollars on insomnia treatments. Diabetes, tension, depression, suicide. A lot of manifestations are from accumulations of overload, people not in balance. And one of the reasons why there is this imbalance is because we are being fooled by certain kind of gimmickries. If we fast food, if we dress a certain way, if we drink these drinks, for example, and I don't want to go contrary to advertisement, but alcohol don't make anybody sexy. But with every alcohol poster is a sexy woman, unfortunately. So we are fooled by some of these messages and we go after them. And that brings these overloads and imbalances that result in these lifestyle illnesses. So we are trying to teach people to counteract lifestyle illnesses. Now, I'm trained, as you mentioned, at Harvard Medical School in lifestyle medicine, in mind-body medicine, and in cognitive behavior therapy. So I'm meeting a lot of people who are not addressing the overloads and are getting ill as a result of it.
You know, it's so wonderful that you said that because I was gonna go to health and how does stress affect one's health? That's where I was going with the next question.
Yes, well, it's this proliferation of lifestyle illnesses. Okay, let's just take one for example. One of the big stressors is relationship issues. Relationship issues might seem okay, we're gonna deal with it now. We'll take a drink, we'll relax, we'll go to sleep. But when relationship issues are affecting us, the back is affected, the brain is affected, the heart is affected. So there are many things that are happening that invisibly, stress is an invisible enemy, invisibly accumulates and the system deteriorates. So I'm 75 years old now. I was the corporate human resources manager for the largest state corporation in the Caribbean. So I come from the real world story. I'm not in some abstract philosophical thing. And people are just overworked. People are busy. People are not taking time out for self-care. And people are going towards gimmick things, feeling that it will make you feel better, and it actually makes you feel more dependent and worse, more dependent on stress-producing things. So Tobago, for example, I was there last week. I was there the week before. I'm working with some groups in Tobago. I'm training some stress management counselors to counsel people in Tobago. Tobago has all the blessings of the sea and the air and the cleanliness and the village life. But still, there's a lot of stress because even in beautiful Tobago, people are just overwhelmed being busy. We are busy being busy. We don't take time off to care for self, and we pay the price in health issues, the point that you are making, in the system breaking down. And because of tendencies, different individual has different tendencies, it will manifest itself in the high blood pressure. It will manifest itself in uncontrolled diabetes. It will manifest in the disease of insomnia, not being able to sleep. It will manifest itself in poor relationships that then escalate in other things. So we are spending time in my retirement from the corporate world. I'm dedicating a lot of time to helping people come to terms with their lifestyle and make the choices that don't end up in illnesses and imbalances and depression, but end up in joy because we have the potential for happiness, for balance, for joy. And Harvard, where I studied, has done enormous research in longevity living, which means long, healthy, and happy living. And that's a knowledge we're sharing with others.
Yeah, and I hear people
And
speaking
I
on
hear people speaking on
stress and
stress.
weight gain. Is there any relationship there between stress and weight gain?
Is that?
Stress and weight gain. My apologies, you didn't hear me before. What is the relationship there, if any, between stress and weight gain?
In stress and weight gain. The body is unable to control the digestion of food, and so it produces an excessive weight production in the system. That's one. The body tries to counteract stress sometimes by putting on weight as if it is like a cushion to the system, but that creates now new illnesses. So there is a correlation between stress and weight gaining, but we are trying to teach people. For example, the Harvard study shows us about the need for resting, the need for relaxation, and we are having this workshop of cultivating personal and professional work-life balance. A lot of people, strangely enough, don't have the personal and work-life balance, and they eat the wrong way, and they don't exercise according to age and requirements. So eating habits and type of food and non-exercise and desk jobs and so on, we put on weight, and that puts on new strain on the heart and nervous system. Yes, there's a correlation, and we need to watch that. And I think there is a problem in Tobago with stress and weight gain. I think there's a problem there. And while you have all the nature and creation and so on, I think eating habits need to be looked at. The fry food habits, the type of exercise we might be doing, because exercise is particular to each individual. One of the big research findings is the amount of rest or sleep we are getting. So yes, there's a correlation between stress and weight gain that we need to pay attention to, and you have to be coached and counseled individually, because each individual has a different type of body, a different type of nervous system, and foods. We have to look at food very carefully.
And we want to talk about your workshop. But before we do that, this has been a burning question for some time now. How do we find ways to manage our stress levels? Or what are some of the ways, rather, in managing our stress levels?
So first of all, we have to know ourselves. We have to know what causes us to be imbalanced. And it varies with individuals. So a little guidance, a little counseling about what is my nature, my unique state, and what causes me to be stressed. Something that causes John to be stressed out might not stress out Mary, so to speak. So self-awareness is important. So you have to be aware what causes me at the end of the day, what I've done today that has me so overwhelmed, so mashed up. So that's one of the things. But Harvard has identified about 15 different practices for management of stress. What is interesting is that none of them cost any money, but they do cost time. For example, we must find time in this busy world for silence and solitude. The world is full of noise. all kinds of noise. So one of the things we must do is have in our routine of living ways of being silent and having solitude, whether it's prayerfulness, meditation, just sitting by the beach, listening to the waves, whatever. So we guide people to individually develop methods of silence and solitude. We guide people to do appropriate exercises, body movements, age specific body movements and exercises. We teach people how to eat properly. For example, the nervous system has a capacity called salivation. And when we are accustomed to eating fast, that's what's happening these days in our little country of Trinidad and Tobago. Hustling eating. We have to slow down on eating and use eating time as therapy. Eat slowly, salivate the food, bring it into the nervous system. Eat more vegetables, fresh fruits and juices, more peas and legumes. Cut down on red meat consumption, not stop eating meat, but cut down on the consumption of meat because it has a habit of putting pressure on the nervous system. Being hydrated, make sure we are drinking water, even if we have to go to the bathroom often, but the hydration of the nervous system, making sure we're getting a lot of rest. A lot of people now, late into the nights, getting up next day, and with time, the pattern of non-sleeping destroys the nervous system. There is the interesting one about relationships. If we are in relationships that are abusive or diminishing of us or make us feel horrible constantly, that is one of the major stress factors. Relationships that diminish us, don't uplift us, don't bring us joy. But we say we're in love or we're married or whatever, but still the relationships are unhealthy. Sometimes we become victims. We have one of the stress things is to look and see if we are victims. And we enjoy being victims of overwork, victims of abusive relationships. There's a victim mentality that a counselor, a person like myself, have to sit with people and show them that they are victimizing themselves with work or with just going after money or in relationships that are unhealthy. So there are many things. And in our workshop, which we will be launching on the 14th of this month, it's a virtual seminar. We're having a one-day seminar, and we will be going through all the points from Harvard University about how to identify and manage stress. In an interview, I could highlight some, but to talk about it needs a little more time. Now, just yesterday, I had a wonderful Zoom conference with about 10, 15 people from Tobago, professionals. We had a 1 hour session about the same stress development. And because of that, I was inspired to have this one-day conference on balancing personal life and professional life and looking at stress factors. So we'll be having it will be on our Facebook and so on. I will be having this one-day seminar for Trinidad and Tobago on balancing personal and professional life. And then I'm setting up some operations in Tobago. I'm coming to Tobago I'm also the head of a City and Guilds program. And so we're bringing to Tobago City and Guilds program in cosmetology, in employability, in hospitality, and in this counseling for personal and professional life balance. And I'm going to be training some people in Tobago. I started it very slowly, but we'll be training some people to be life coaches in Tobago, just to uplift the quality of life. But yes, there are a whole listing of things that we need to do to manage our stress. And one is very simply to have these moments where we eat slowly, where we could go in solitude and quietness, where we self-care and we don't just work, because we can make all the money in the world and pay the price in illnesses and so on. So when I come back to Tobago, I will come to the television station. I'll come back to you and we'll talk a little bit more and we'll announce some more programs at Tobago and so on. But it's important. One of the maladies of our time is that people are being overwhelmed with life, with work, with relationships. We look for simple shortcut solutions like drinking or sexuality or something like that. And it does not solve the problems of the stress factor that is impacting in our lives. So we have to gradually bring the awareness to people of how they can identify the stress factors. It takes a little time to sit with people. And then the practices that don't cost any money, what to eat, how to eat, what exercises are appropriate. You know, one of the biggest ones is to go in the sea and soak. And sometimes I talk to professionals in Tobago and they tell me they don't have time for it. In Tobago, they don't have time to go to the sea. And the sea is regenerative. Another one is to walk around barefoot. Funny, eh? There's energy from planet Earth that comes up from the soil and sand. And just taking time and walking is called mindful walking. Walk slowly, mindfully, listen to the nature and the sounds. Tobago full of that. That's why I want to set up a wellness center in Tobago, because you have all the elements for really healthy and happy living.
Definitely. And yes, I think we have the ideal environment here for that sort of experience. We just want to thank you so much for being a part of Brunch today. Thank you for this wonderful conversation. We definitely have to have you back because there still are questions with relation to children and stress and education and studying. And those are some questions that we have to bring to the forefront, especially for our parents viewing. So we're definitely going to have you back. And we just want to thank you once again for being a part of our show. So guys, that was it. That was it for Brunch today. Thank you to Selwyn Bajan for being a part of our discussion today. Stress and learning to identify and manage it. And we definitely got some of those questions answered. And we are so privileged and happy that he took the time to be with us today. So that is it for Brunch, guys. Thank you so much for being with us. Live, love, life. From our family to yours, blessings and peace and success in whatever you endeavor to do. Let me just remind you about our trivia question. And yes, we did have a winner today. What is another name for the national bird, the cockrecot? And the answer to that question is the rufous-tailed chakachalaka. Yes. I had to take my time in order to say that correctly. Our winner for today, Bambi Lee. Congratulations. And we will be reaching out to you soon. So do not despair. Thank you for being a part of Brunch and thank you for watching. We thank you for being here. And we're going to see you again on Wednesday. Join us again for another exciting edition of Brunch, A Taste of Tobago. Have a blessed day, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Bye-bye.